Good evening. So I decided to do Starbucks as my social media crisis analysis this week. And the reason being for that was I thought it was pretty unique because it happened in a different country. And I think that presents a unique challenge to countries who are trying to expand outside of the US and are wanting to use social media. So the origins of the crisis basically started when um, Starbucks Argentina, or at Starbucks AR, posted on July 16, 2012, "We apologize as due to a temporary supply shortage, some shops are using national cups and sleeves. Salutations." And basically, what they were saying is that they ran out of the Starbucks brand cups and collars that have the mermaid insignia on them and are basically using locally made Argentinian cups and sleeves. Um, Now, obviously, I think we can all see kind of, where this gets a little hairy because they're apologizing for using a local made product that's out of Argentina. So, of course, this started, um, a sandstorm of outrage on Twitter. So the effects were online criticism and a hashtag called "We Apologize" started trending. Um, and obviously, as I was saying before, um, this kind of instance makes it apparent that breaking into um, the culture in another country is extremely difficult, especially for American bred companies. Because, say, for instance, in Connecticut, they said, oh, we're out of, the national brand cups and sleeves, and we're using, New Haven made cups. Um, I don't think it would have caused as much backlash as it did in Argentina, only because they see Starbucks as a company coming in from the United States, and maybe robbing them of their local businesses, whereas here in America, many people are what we call Starbucks addicts, so they don't care as much. And again, this has a negative effect on Starbucks because Starbucks is attempting to expand 300 more stores in Argentina and Mexico by 2015. So, it's a hard sell when your company is apologizing for using locally made products. And then this goes back to basically difficulty building company trust and support. The repertoire, obviously, now between Argentinian customers and Starbucks is bruised because they feel offended. Um, they feel that, their product is insignificant to the Starbucks product, and now there's a lack of trust, and, they're hurt. Um, so what was social media's role in this? Basically, as I mentioned before, there was just, an outpouring of outrage, and I took a screenshot of some of the tweets. Um, Obviously, they're all in Spanish because it's Argentina, but a couple of the ones that I saw have had some swear words in them that I recognized. So I figured, obviously, that these were outrage tweets. But basically, as I said, they started that hashtag "We Apologize," and it really wasn't them apologizing. It was more they kidnapped Starbucks hashtag and took over it and told told Starbucks what they thought. So their response, and that's the response in Spanish. We'll go down to the response. "We apologize for the post this morning. We understand your comments and clarify that the intention was to tell you that we are using different than usual supplies temporarily in some stores. This is due to breakdown of stock by an internal planning error. We are working to continue providing the best for our fans. We like to be transparent with our community and share each of our updates, whether permanent or temporary." So what they did right here was admitted that they're trying to be transparent and want to continue to share their updates. However, I felt that they did do a few things wrong, and I created two different options. Um, that they could have done. But anyway, the response breakdown, for me, I felt that because they responded the same day, that was excellent. I mean, if they had waited, it would have gotten 10 times worse. Um, and again, this is one of those instances of, um, social media crisis may arise when least expected. They had no idea that an apology would create this much outrage. And obviously they used truth and transparency in their apology, which was great, and it does look like they did have a crisis communication plan in place. But for option one, I would have crafted the initial tweet a little bit differently, and acted excited about using local products. So I might have said, as a community manager, this week we will be featuring national Argentinian cups and sleeves, salutations, hashtag support local. This type of tweet looks positive, and it looks like they're looking forward to using, local products, and maybe that would have created a better repertoire with Argentinian customers. And obviously that's only if I had crafted the original message. If I was responding, I would have definitely responded a little bit different, because I did think that although the apology stated two great things, which is, truth and transparency and a willingness to share updates, it sounded generic and lacked emotion. So I would have typed a different apology tweet slash Facebook post, which would have sounded maybe something like this. We apologize for the post this morning. We understand your comments and clarify that the intention was to tell you that we are using different than usual supplies. We make it a habit to support local businesses and communities by doing, and then maybe name something that Starbucks Argentina has done for the Argentinian community, and see this as a unique and wonderful opportunity to do so while we restock our own supply of the cups and collars you have come to recognize. So again, this is affirming their brand status, but it's also naming positive things that they've done for the community, and also presenting using the cups as a unique opportunity, and not dismissing their worth to the Argentinian community. So basically, in conclusion, having a crisis management plan is key. It did look like Starbucks had one in this case because they responded so quickly. Cultural differences make it extremely difficult to operate in other countries, and basically just break through in general. You never know how the public will react, and this type of social media crisis can happen even with the most innocent of tweets. So that is my breakdown of the Starbucks social media crisis. Thank you very much for listening, and I will see you next week.